What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Trader. I guess I can put you over here for now. I don't really know what I'm gonna be doing with you quite yet, so go there for now. I guess. Oh, is the glitch back? I get to win this fight without doing anything, but we're not going to do that. Pascal, you're not really wanting to stand there, I don't think. Stand there, Pascal, why not? Okay. We're in very precarious positions at the moment, but it is what it is. You let... Go ahead, girl.
I am not your Xenos pet monkey.
We know who we want to kill first.
This tedium is beneath me. No weakness is hidden from my sight. I understand your intent.
Should have shot him with that. Oh well.
If I must. You will pay an even greater price.
Request approved. Running binaric override. Request denied.
Just pump everybody up here.
The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
Xavier probably won't live, if I had to guess, for his turn. Depends on like if the game has like a second part or whatever, but we'll see. If he does,
Binaric override.
just put that on him just in case.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Cassia. You look.
In the name of House Orcelio, I shall prevail.
I am not your Xenos pet monkey. If it serves your cause.
He did go down. That one goes next.
I
No, it
am
doesn't.
not your Xenos pet monkey. I hear you moving. No more.
One goes next. That one? No, it doesn't.
I deal death with my hands.
Which one goes next? That one? No, it doesn't.
I will
Oh,
not.
maybe it does. Maybe it does.
This tedium is beneath me. If it serves your cause.
That one definitely doesn't.
I understand your intent. If it serves your cause.
Almost. Oh, still having a shot. Never mind.
If I must.
High momentum.
Oh, look, I got a high momentum. Oh, sure, why
My
not? Shoot that guy.
heart sings with the thrill of battle.
Good job. Continuing. Okay.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered
You
around.
should have thought twice before crossing me.
Me? Isn't this a job for the serfs? I am a navigator,
Let's make it quick.
not a servitor. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Best defense is a good offense. It's as good as done.
Oh, now Cassie gets her real turn. Oh, okay, great. Bring everybody
Emperor,
in.
give me strength.
Come here.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Should have done that first. That actually
Another
should have because I was
painted
thinking about that.
black.
Here we go.
Isn't this a job for the
Let's
Sir?
make it
Oh,
quick.
who's that guy? I didn't even see that guy. Oh, that's okay.
Me?
Sure, Cassia, you can have
If
some
you
help.
insist, Lord Captain.
I move swiftly to strike. This tedium is beneath me. I hear you moving, no more. I understand your intent. I deal death with my hands.
Can't get that guy, it would seem. Well, yeah, he doesn't have any shots left. So they will get a turn. They don't get to do anything with their turn, but they get a turn.
As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless.
High momentum.
High momentum. Ulfar. I told you guys I would let him use this one, so we'll do what we do. We'll let him use this one for a turn here. Which it's not going to show much on someone with so low of health, but I'll still let him use it.
To someone lesser. So shall it be. None can do this better than a warrior. I will carve runes.
He's
out
good
of you.
damage.
It is too early. The yoke must be activated, or all is lost.
Nomos. An invisible yet clearly tangible aura of power envelops the figure clad in the robes of a tech priest. It is all more baffling to hear a youthful, excited voice from under the hood. Oh, this is it, the place of our origin. That's not the voice you hear. Nomos' gaze is trained upon the Satan shard. It was your strike and your wish to escape your prison that begot us. The mysterious creature that has been in your ship's soul for so long turns to face you. But it is you, Gregor, who truly ushered us into this world, so let us meet our abominable precursor together, for it is ready to break free. Greetings, Nomos. We are out of time. Now. It escapes now. Oh no. Want to really tangle with the Satan? Well, this seems like a bad plan. By Conquazar? I think it's a little mad you tried to imprison it. Everything's waking up now. I think we gotta kill a Satan.
For us and the Allfather! Symphony of the universe.
Satan shard. Satan shard. She's got 2 turns, okay. Gregor. If at any time you could tank, now would be the time, my friend. Now would be the time. Pascal, get up in there. All right. It doesn't have that much health, right? Only 19,500. That's it. And we have Nomos on our side, wherever there he is. You're lit. Go ahead, girl. What kind of buffs do you have? I want to see. You're staggered? Okay, cool. Yes. Oh, killing edge costs 0, that's why. Okay.
If it serves your cause, I am not your Xenos pet monkey. If I must, fortune favors the swift.
So marveling.
0.
Kemorak!
That's about as much damage as I thought would happen. Give you this. Hey, big guy. Take that, please.
I'm afraid
Yeah, here, we'll
not.
put that there. Why not? Gregor, here, have a
I
turn,
have
Gregor.
read tomes of military tactics.
Ah, this thing's huge. I don't want to turn. You
I'll
have a
see
turn.
to it personally.
No, I think
I'll show
we'll
you
let
why
handle it.
navigators are feared.
If it serves your cause, I understand your intent.
All right, start shooting
I
it.
am not your Xenos pet. Ancestors guide me.
Not a lot of damage, you let.
If it serves your cause.
Can I do this?
I am not your Xenos pet, monkey. If it serves your cause. No weakness is hidden from my sight.
Baby amount of damage.
Ancestors guide me. If I must. Fortune favors the swift. No weakness is hidden from my sight. Fortune favors the swift. I understand your
This is
intent.
not good, guys. This is not good. Not good at all. Did it work? Hey, it worked. Yay.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Come closer.
If you insist, Lord Captain. If I may,
Maybe not that close. And in
Me?
fact,
if you insist, Lord Captain.
okay. There you go. Oh, it didn't buff. Hey, you want to attack Gregor.
On it. Who if not me? I'll make it happen.
You got a big sword looking thing. I feel like you should melee. I don't
I'll
know.
brush this off.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
I'm gonna go over here.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet. Me, if you insist.
You stunned him. That'd been really cool. You didn't, but it'd have been really cool.
You should have thought twice
Nice
before
10
crossing
there,
me.
Gregor. Nice 10. Drag you
Isn't
back
this
over
a job
here.
for the serfs?
Oh, you didn't move. That's annoying. Oh, in that case, we gotta move this back.
If
to
I may,
there. I don't think
I
we can
am
Waking
a
Nightmare
navigator,
again.
not
No,
a
we can.
servitor.
Okay. That's acceptable then. And give
Me?
Gregor some health.
if you insist, Lord Captain.
My vow is to serve. Request approved. The Omnissiah knows all. Comprehend. I venerate you. My goblins cannot damage a star. Request approved. Running binaric override.
It definitely lives for the first turn, for sure.
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. Doubt is for the weak. This is why I was chosen. As
Although,
the
you know, if
Emperor
she could have actually
commands,
gotten like
I
all her
act.
shots off, I don't think it would have.
You, my Emperor! I'll do it.
Here it goes. What are you gonna do? You teleported everyone. And Yurlet's right next to you now. It's not where Yurlet wants to be.
This tedium is beneath me.
She says, no, I don't want to be here.
I approach the
I'm
designated
supposed to be able to move
position.
through. Oh, you missed. Haha, you missed. Nerd. You suck. I'm not scared, you're
I am
scared.
not your Xenos pet, monkey. If I must. If it serves your cause. No weakness is hidden
Now
from
that's a
my
hit.
sight.
What the hell is that?
An unworthy soul.
What else but canvas of paradise?
Teleport. Over here now.
Worse than this.
Okay,
My
yep.
reckoning will be swift.
Taking
Gregor
calculated
says fight
risk is
him,
my
you
second
coward.
nature. I'll see to it personally. It's as good as done.
Yeah, attack me, nerd. Ah, you missed. That's the power of Gregor von Valancius. You're just gonna be taking an attack here, buddy. We're getting no far over here to fight. So 0 to 1 damage on that. And I don't know. But
Cubs play.
what I do know
Wolves reign.
is we're gonna try to hit this guy a
See
bit.
how the wolf succeeds. So it shall be.
100%. So that was that shot. Now we'll use this one.
Reign.
But you can't even actually shoot, which is awkward.
None can do this better.
5. And that's with a normal shot. So I doubt it's gonna get even better.
High momentum.
But I mean, it might currently be better. It
By
might.
claw and fire,
Against this kind of enemy.
the foe will be torn asunder.
I'm gonna do this with this one because just
Wolves reign. I become the awesome.
I want the extra attacks. Actually, we should shoot
See how the wolf
some of the copies
feel the icy bite of death.
to increase his stuff.
Cubs play.
So he gets more from attacking different enemies. So as long as these guys count as
None
different
can do
enemies.
this better than my hand is thunder. My strike is ruin.
Alright.
So it shall be. Feel the icy bite of death. Wolves reign.
And next turn I'll do the burst with if he gets a next turn, I'll do the burst with
I have become the unfathered worthy instrument. See how the wolves. Feel the icy bite of death.
Cassie, I feel for you, girl.
Be careful not to cross my gaze.
A prominence cannot.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Here you go.
Cubs play.
I just can't tell if that's doing more damage. I just can't tell.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Consider this a taste of what's to come.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Sorry,
If I
Gregor.
may.
Sorry, Ulfar. Sorry, Ulet. Didn't see you there.
Pain won't stop me.
Pascal's turn.
My vow is to serve. Probability analysis successful. The Omnissiah knows all,
Argenta does not want to be over here.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone.
Pretty sure he was already marked, but we'll remark him.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Opponents cannot damage to solve.
He took enough damage to get his next turn.
Mankind is strong!
I am not your Xenos pet monkey. This tedium is beneath me. I understand your intent. If I must.
Big hit here, lad. Big hit. Decent sized hit. Now, if it comes down to it, if I have to try this again, I will kill the shard copies. But I'd like to see out.
Didn't even flinch.
We will operate under the impression
Is on the hunt.
that this is doing more
None
damage,
can do this better than
since
a
you guys
warrior
always
of your
want me to
own
use it.
father.
And also, it does get more rate of fire, I think, when it does stuff.
So it shall be. Your father's worthy instrument.
I mean, it feels good. Cassia's turn. Yulet's still alive. Go ahead, Yulet. Take your turn. Somehow Yulet's still alive.
If it serves your cause. I am not your Xenos pet monkey. Fortune favors the swift. My exile has not ended yet.
I really don't want to hit you again with my gaze, so I'm gonna
Step
move.
aside. The navigator is coming.
A fleeting moment of integrity. Gone.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. Dare you!
Running binary override. Confirming equation of integrity. Your life is a negligible variable. My vow is to serve.
Someone's gonna die.
Request approved.
Faith without deeds is
What
worthless.
are you doing? Oh, well, you shot. Take the
Weapons, but canvas of paradoxes.
Ah, if we don't kill that, everyone blows up. I see. It's good to know. I did not know that, but now we know that for the next time. I think we should reload. We should probably reload, huh?
Entropy whispers through existence.
He's so close to dead, though. Actually, I don't know how close he is.
Shattered eternity.
Ulfar tanked an explosion, though, and then died.
As my curse truly waned.
Oh, dude, where did we save? We saved right when we changed positions. That's right. Okay. So you have to blow up the big explodey ball. Got it. Understood. Did not realize that was a necessary thing. I thought it would be like a little area around it that blew up, you know? No. That's not what happened. All right. It doesn't really matter how you position. They're just going to go again anyway.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
If it serves your cause, I understand your intent. If I must, no weakness is hidden from my sight.
Cannot damage a star.
You will pay an even greater price.
No matter how we stack this stuff up.
If I may, Isn't this a job for the serfs? I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. I'll paint your death
If
in
it serves
colors.
your cause. I am not your Xenos pet monkey. This tedium is beneath me. Ancestors guide me. If it serves your cause, fortune favors the swift. I understand your intent. No weakness is hidden from my sight.
Just speed everything up.
Fortune favors the
I
swift.
wish there was just an option where I could
No
select that was
weakness
just
is
like
hidden
always
from my
operate
sight.
combat at this speed.
Purpose are unraveling.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Sure, we're doing that.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Whispers through my existence.
If I may?
A shattered divinity.
On it. Who, if not me?
Wielding melee weapons and adjacent. Well, it's not that great.
I'll make it happen.
I have read tomes of military tactics. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Yeah, 33 damage just isn't that great. I mean, that might be good.
I
Actually.
am a navigator, not a servitor. If I may,
What else? A canvas.
Where are you going?
Infamy whispers through my existence.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Buff. Blast.
Prognosis is favorable. I venerate you, machine
Do this.
spirit.
Do this. Do this. In turn.
I'll do it.
Tag it.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Fire.
Doubt is for the weak is why I was chosen.
Shoot again.
As the Emperor
Shoot again.
I'll do it. With you, my Emperor!
Threads of purpose are unraveling.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Places everybody. Or disperses everybody. Not really. And then creates some things. Which you're that's like, no, I'm okay. I don't want to fight those things. I mean, she probably like one-shots them, but like she needs to focus on this guy, you know? Like
If it
this is
serves
a
your
person
cause.
she needs to kill.
I am not your Xenos pet monkey.
Reloading.
I understand your intent.
Like 600 damage is nothing to sneeze at. Now that one maybe should have gone to somebody else, but no, not really. Thing. No? He did not make the giant ball. Okay, good to know. Don't let this guy get away, Gregor.
Best defense is a good offense. I'll see to it personally.
That's your
On
enemy,
it.
Gregor. Your sworn enemy. Now.
I hunger for battle.
We will go with this
Wolves
one.
reign.
Just don't know. I will go with this weapon, but I don't know.
My instincts tell me to refuse. Cubs play. Don't dishonor the wolf with such tasks. My hand is thunder. My strike is ruin. I have become the All-Father's worthy instrument. My hand is
But honestly, maybe I should have him go after the other people. This doesn't even end up working. Because, like, he probably would rip these guys apart.
Will endure.
Me?
Like, you
If you
already had an
insist,
extra
Lord
turn this
Captain.
turn, but that's... Oh, no, it's a new turn. That's right. It's a new turn. You can't see him from there. You can't see him from there. You can see him from there.
This tedium is beneath me.
2,000 damage. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now he summons the thingy. Okay, now he summons the thingy.
Providence cannot damage a star.
If I'm...
You should have thought twice before crossing me.
It's awkward.
I am a navigator, not a servitor. If I may? You don't frighten me.
Activate
Pascal don't care, he's coming.
Request approved.
I feel like there's like gonna be like an achievement to like stop the to like kill him before this blows up. Is there like a countdown? There's too many things, I don't know. There might be a countdown, but I can't find it.
Request approved. Martyrdom is a reward.
I'll do it. Faith without deeds is worthless. This is why I was chosen as the
Big error.
I move as if unseen, if it serves your cause. I
Problem is,
am
it
not
is
your
possible that I
Xenos
could kill
pet
him.
monkey.
I'm gonna save here, just in case, so I don't have to reload all the way to the beginning.
This tedium is beneath me. That is beneath me.
There it is.
I have suffered the singularity of annihilation.
An unworthy soul.
The ancient monster struggles against the energy manacles of the yoke. Its impossible powers that make reality itself burst at the seams are now being forced into a compact dungeon, cork by cork, returning it to a cruel and painful non-existence in the moment. It could struggle harder, but something is hindering it. You are the cause of these hindrances. Only now does the Satan Shard turn its focus to you, for the battle was nothing more than the reflective resistance of an alien mind absorbed in a completely different range of thoughts and responses. By now it is thinking about you, and its thoughts are so corporeal that you can sense them and know them. It seeks an end to the confrontation. It is capable of resolving it in a way that would benefit all. More and more tears appear all over the shard's form. As the yoke absorbs its power, it becomes increasingly harder for the shard to maintain its physical structure. Each imperfection you inflict brings the star predator closer to imprisonment. Do not bow your head before our abominable precursor. It was begotten by the dark abysses of the past. It is a fragment of that which devoured stars and erased civilizations. It knows no benefit other than its own. Allow us to stand against it. This is our time, our impossible chance. As yet another layer of reality cracks, figure appears before you. Her, after giving you a probing and appraising look, Theodore permits herself a slight laugh. Try to touch Theodore. Particles of reality around you begin to boil, trying to heal the wound upon existence and preventing her from entering your version of reality. You and she can exchange words, thoughts, glances, but a physical connection is an impossibility. You are merely fleeting phantoms that could scatter at any moment. She is silent, her gaze still trained on you as she is trying to commit your every feature to memory. Better crossroads, Theodore. What should I do? Her smile grows wider. To walk bravely first into darkness, to unite and reclaim what was lost, to triumph over nightmares untold, to hold boldly the reins of fate, to walk steadily the roads of thorns, through pain to greatness. The wound on reality is healed, and the vision of Theodora quickly fades away. You catch her last words. Whatever fate you choose, one can only hope it will be better than mine. Think about Satan. Mental contact is effortless. This is not communication. Such a powerful being cannot comprehend communicating with anyone but its equals. It simply bears the gift of making the other hear and understand it. So grand is the potential of its thoughts. Try to comprehend what the Satan is. Satan is the pinnacle of reality. It is eternity, dominance, omnipotence, individuality. The Satan is original purpose behind all existence. The rest was born in order to contain, nourish, and be appropriated by the Satan. To the Satan, space is an illusory variable. To the Satan, time is a young and trivial phenomenon, for it existed for an eternity in the gaseous energy fount of the universe before time was eventually born. To the Satan, fact and probability are mere abstractions, between which it can soar on its electromagnetic wings. Currently, the Satan is not whole. It was shattered into lesser pieces, and so were its thoughts and powers. The feeling of emptiness is oppressive, and it yearns to become one again. You will hear a whisper from Pascal's Fox. I know this feeling, Xenos. Try to sense the motive behind the Satan's actions. The Satan wishes to be all. To be. All Satans exist to spread and conquer, not to stay manacled within untime, where it was entombed by the contemptible sentient tools, away from all that is. The Satan wishes to ascend, sate its hunger, and embrace once more the pure exhilaration of claiming and taming reality. Try to understand what benefits the Satan promises. Power, eternity, comprehension. The Satan once chose to reign over the short-lived races and forged a new and glorious fate for them. It has learned from its mistakes, now only bestowed gifts upon the chosen few. The Satan can grant your thoughts falters, for it is difficult for your mind to fathom the full scope of this word. The Satan can grant everything. Do not listen. Reject the promises. Do not allow your mind to be clouded, Elentok. No one is capable of receiving everything, or granting everything. Not even a star-devouring Yggnir. And this shard of Yggnir cannot even grant itself freedom. Stop thinking about the Satan. Much easier for you to stop trying to comprehend the Satan than for it, one who can grasp the world in 100 ways, to stop comprehending you. Nomos. If our birth ever had purpose, then it is here now. Why do you call the shard your precursor? Because that is what it is and what we are. We have told you before about Theodora's ambition, Armanat's mind, the ship's cradle, and Epitaph's secret. One sprouted into another and spurred yet another. Thus, Nomos was born. We were but an echo of the shard's power, an echo that left its prison. But we have become something much more with your help. What do you intend to do? Flash with the precursor, touch it, absorb it, so that the reflection becomes the object reflected, so that the shard becomes Nomos. Then, and only then, will its threat be eradicated forever. You think you can do this, Nomos, and what will happen afterward? We stand at the threshold of probability. We stand at the threshold of probabilities, and outside the bounds of the predictable, it is beyond to know whether we can or cannot. But we believe that we can, and that is what drives us to try. And if we succeed, we will obtain power beyond compare. We will become a shield against any threat, in whatever form it may manifest itself. I've made my decision. For Nomos, you can sense the shard's reaction, observation, analysis, and almost an intangible anxiety. You act now, my child. We are ready for the most important battle of our life. Wish us luck. Nomos steps towards the shard, and the whole world explodes into a terrifying whirlwind. You can hear the colors and see the touches. Ice burns your hand, while fire leaves you freezing, and in the midst of this madness, you can clearly sense a battle raging, a clash of two beings, one endlessly ancient and the other endlessly young. I don't know. The power of the Satan shard is such that it redefines the very notion of power, but it has a weakness, one that you can see only now. With the shard and its rivals standing face to face, the shard is just that, a shard. It is incomplete, it is not whole, and it cannot be what the Satan was before. What opposes the shard is something entirely different, an undivided, sentient being with a clear purpose in mind, akin to a well-aimed arrow, and the one who fletched and loosed this arrow was you. The battle goes on and on and on, running the course of time, but you do not need the gift of clairvoyance to know who will emerge victorious. Nomos! You finished the game, you became a votary, you completed the game on daring difficulty, woohoo! You raised your own abomination, woohoo! Yes, achievement gets! The Satan shard was transmuted into a new form, and their name was Nomos. Possessing the power of an ancient being and nurtured by the rogue trader, the young star god watched over the Koronus Expanse, their new domain, with curiosity. Gathering its bleeding worlds together again, the rogue trader dared to build something more noble and civilized in the Expanse, a haven for those drifting and unprotected in the strict hierarchy of the Imperium. It would be an unbound frontier where freedom and compassion were not wholly extinct. The shackled monster under Von Valancius' control endured the survival of the fledgling utopia. The Star God destroyed all who threatened its peaceful civilians and instilled fear in those of little faith. The Expanse tasted the sweet fruit of freedom and tolerance with reverent fear. The Imperium could not forgive such insolent deviation from the order prescribed by Holy Terra. The Von Valancius dynasty was accused of the seditious formation of their own empire. An invasion fleet gathered in the Calixtus sector, and the lifespan of the young utopia was as short as its creators. Protecting the young kingdom of freedom, Nomos created dimensional barriers that cut the Koronus Expanse off from the Imperium more soundly than the Great Rift. The humanity of the Expanse was left in isolation, relying only on themselves. They either had to build something new and different from the Imperium, or fall to the horrors lurking in the darkness. The ideals that Gregor von Valancius was committed to were alien to the Imperium, but close to the hearts of many in the Expanse. Anyone who could not resolve a dispute or who was denied justice rushed to the palace of the rogue trader in search of mercy. Having learned a bitter lesson on footfall, Insidia Chordo let go of her fanatical zeal. Relinquishing the reins of power, she secluded herself on a cloister world. The time of purges has passed, and with it, the time of law and order, and the power vacuum that followed the dark legacy of the abominable Spice reared its ugly head, and Insidia's dominion gradually devolved into a nest of criminals and pirates. Resisting the temptations that besieged him, Caligus Winterscale returned to his domain and began to piece together the shattered remains of his protectorate. Until his dying day, his actions and thoughts were dedicated to saving abandoned worlds and protecting survivors. Alas, he was not able to achieve much in the time he was allotted. He breathed his last breath on the same throne that he refused to leave for decades, adamantly refusing augmetics that would restore mobility and power to his legs. The cult of St. Drusus continued its indefatigable struggle to spread the faith around the Expanse and expose the vile transgressions of the authorities. The stronger and wealthier a planet was, the less its rulers wanted to see the black-clad preachers. Riots and assassinations pushed the cult to the place where it felt most confident, the frontier. After the death of Reverend Hieronymus Doloroso, a man called Chaplain took over the leadership of the Drusian mission. He hid his name, but not his crimes or his piratical past. With the resolve of an experienced voidfarer, he steered the cult and even led his fellow believers on military expeditions against brigands, enforcing order and converting depraved captives to the faith. In the following years, the Cognizance fleet slowly deliberately left the explored systems of the Expanse for the farthermost remote regions. Observation stations and claimed worlds were abandoned. Even Euphrates II became derelict. Statistical divination warned the fleet's conclave of grim events awaiting the Expanse, and yet they decided to deliver their fellows from the coming storm. Yet they did not share the truth with the lay people. The schism of discontinuing the cycle engulfed the entire Cognizance fleet, and soon the Civil War was over. Disregarding the commandments of their forefathers, the explorators started down a dangerous path of new comprehension, creation, and revision of procedures and algorithms. The fleet was united once more, and in its unity, it was ready to stare down any horrors standing in the way of the catechism of maintenance and operation. Magos Dominus Opticon 22, one of the first to hail the return of the Messiah, took the helm of the Mother Squadron of the Cognizance fleet, unquestioningly embracing the teachings of discontinuing the cycle. He personally saw to the crushing of any renegades who did not accept the Messiah's true word its truth, and earned himself the identifier Chrome Scourge. The crisis of the Expanse dealt a serious blow to the business interests of the Fellowship of the Void. Having no powerful allies, they retreated into the darkness of frontier systems. The hard life they faced there forged them into a new tribe, furious, wild, and willing to do anything for survival. They swore to return and retake what had once been theirs. The first command that Riza issued after her miraculous rescue on footfall was the complete extermination of all worshippers of the Dark Gods among the Fellowship of the Void. The old pirates wanted to find another way for her people to survive. The former renegades hoped to live by the law, working as mercenaries and traders. When it seemed they were finally on the path to a peaceful life, the Imperial Navy conducted a flash raid and destroyed all their ships. Those who survived the bloodbath were publicly hanged. Violence throughout the Expanse put many on their guard, and as a result, the Casablanca mission's business declined. Soon rumors surfaced among the cold traders about a so-called commission that made its way through the mall and into the Expanse. Its professed purpose was to audit assets and take measures to restructure operations. These words carried with them an ominous threat. Vladimir Takara, as Liege of Footfall, survived 14 assassination attempts and thwarted no less than 2,000 schemers before a shot finally took his life. The esteemed Liege's funeral was held in great secrecy, with only his closest entourage being permitted to view his corpse, which spawned some peculiar rumors. The Imperial Navy was wary of the rise of the Von Valancius. They saw themselves as dogs guarding the flocks of the Emperor's subjects, and there was a new master of the pact. Therefore, the dynasty was watched with utmost diligence, and the admirals feared that one day they would have to go to war against the rogue trader. Sharist Captain Asterius Thorfast founded the Thorfast and Companions Merchant Company, excelling in trade and acquiring a substantial escort fleet. After 3 decades, he traveled to the Mall to return to the Imperium in hopes of obtaining the fabled warrant of trade. It is not known how this venture ended. When the rogue trader's apostasy became apparent, the Imperial Navy filled its duty and fought the Von Valancius dynasty. The Battle of Dargonus ended in resounding defeat, and the surviving ships fled to distant systems. Disheartened but not broken, the captains vowed to rebuild their forces and planned raids into apostate territory. Dargonus grew and prospered until it became the capital of the Koronus Expanse. The planet was like a giant magnet whose pull held together the worlds of the Expanse, absorbing the treasures and vices of the sector. Humanity was exploring the Expanse, and Dargonus became the capital for the brave starfarers and pioneers. It was from here that expeditions departed into the uncharted wilderness, and here they returned bearing wondrous trophies. Captains, cartographers, and scribes flocked here to exchange the news. Kiavagama washed off the stain of its former defilement, but not the dark memory of it. The sacred halls were never silent, and the production rates became the supreme law. The glory of the Imperium was forged in the blood, and sweat of its toilers, and the millstones of the manufactorums ground the workers down by thousands. Even in death, the souls of its servants dare not step away from their machines. Kiavagama grew, and new manufactorums were founded, until disturbing reports started to trickle in many years later. It sounded that someone had secretly taken control of the colony, shrouding it in a tangle of conspiracy. Neither inquiries nor threats to tech priests or executions helped. Someone in the shadows was weaving their web and making secret plans. Janus was conquered, the Xeno spirits were exorcised, and the wilderness was subdued. The fields grew until they covered the entire planet, and billions of tons of provisions were harvested there. Janus had become the breadbasket of the Expanse, and to threaten it would be to condemn millions to starvation. The nobility of the Expanse appreciated the idyllic conditions of the pearl-like paradise world. White castles arose above the agri-complexes and their mud, and the shining knights of Janus gifted the sector with many a hero who covered themselves in glory. Despite grim expectations, the coexistence of humans and the Eldari did not lead to enmity. Janus had faced many trials, and the struggle against them brought the two peoples together. They did not develop an affection for one another, but they learned to speak with no weapons in their hands. More than one dangerous xenophile schism was born on Janus. The mines of Veoba 6 grew deeper and deeper, until the planet became the darkest and most frightening colony of the Expanse, the final stop for the exiled and the damned. The brutal, hardened inhabitants of the Death World feared neither humans nor Xeno horrors, knew no mercy, and were known as the most fearsome fighters in the sector, who had traded their lives for the right to leave the eternal darkness of the mines. Guarded, luxurious palaces were built under the climate domes surrounded by clouds of poison. They housed so many powerful blackguards, persecuted aristocrats, and wealthy scoundrels that Veoba 6 gained unimaginable political influence. Such grand and sinister deeds were done there that long before the grim Death World was spoken of as the new political center of the Expanse. No longer secluded and forlorn, Foulstone turned into the spiritual center of the Expanse. Clad in gold and power, rulers went there to be anointed for greatness, criminals for penance, and the righteous for encouragement, and there was no end to them in sight. The Order of the Hammer grew in power and prominence thanks to the rogue trader's patronage. So widespread was the reverence for Cognacious that he supplanted Drusus the warrior on his pedestal as the most honored saint in the Expanse. The Drusian cult did not forgive this, and the feuds broke out between the clergies, but the warlike servants of the Hammer were not afraid of bloodshed. After recovering from Chorta's reign, Footfall reclaimed its status as the trading hub in the Expanse. Having learned a bitter lesson, Vladaim Takara created the Footfall's Partisans Militia, a well-equipped mercenary army that answered only to him. A modicum of order returned to the station. The changes that the Von Valencius dynasty brought to Footfall endured on the station long after. Poor houses opened by the order of the rogue trader saved many hungry and homeless from death. Unfortunately, this disrupted the station's delicate ecosystem. No longer freezing to death in empty compartments or tormented by epidemics, those who lived on poverty on Footfall began to choke the station, leading to the sharp rise in crime. Organ traders, illegal augmetic specialists, and the savage gangs of Anvers proliferated. The Rykad system turned into a purulent wound of corruption, poisoning the Expanse. The surreal energies of the yawning warp legion held its planets together in the absence of the gravitational pull of the star, defying the very laws of existence. Immense depravity took root on Rykad Minoris, and it poured out into other systems with vile glee. The people of Rykad Minoris, saved by the rogue trader, eventually found a new home. The colony of New Rykad was founded at the edge of the Von Valencius domains. For a short time, the world was a place of equality, as there was almost no aristocrats left to enforce any kind of hierarchy, but within a generation, everything had returned to business as usual. Yesterday's serfs assumed the burdens of authority with pleasure, as well as the right to mistreat those of lower rank. The memory of this world and all who perished on its surface or met a fate worse than death construction began on the orbital slipways of Footfall, of a glorious cathedral ship to be called Rykad Sacrifice. The miraculous fusion reactor powered its engines and cannons, refueling them with the fused power of the motive force. With the fall of their unholy patron, the edge of daybreak, the cult of the final dawn perished as well. Every cell of the cult was hunted down and eliminated. Rumors that some worshippers of the ruinous powers had managed to get away, hiding in the writings of their warp-banished lord under their robes, were baseless. Left without a mission or a leader, the word-bearers retreated to the depths of the Imperium. Their last act of vengeance was a bloody assault on Footfall. The populace of several asteroids was exterminated or enslaved, and the statue of the God Emperor was badly damaged. Rumors of rotting remains of Eldari craft world spread around the Expanse. Explorators, privateers, Casablanca agents, and anyone hungry for easy money all rushed to frontier systems to vie for a piece of the prize. Some were swallowed by the warp, while others perished in skirmishes with their rivals. The most skilled and fortunate returned empty-handed after decades of searching. The colossal ship, as big as an imperial world, simply vanished as if it had never existed, but the legend of the forbidden treasure lived on and continued to bring daring souls to ruin. Eldari from the fallen craft world Kurok, who once traveled through the darkness of the Expanse in a desperate attempt to gather the remains of their kind, were becoming a rarer sight. Even the most skillful Casablanca agents and the audacious bounty hunters with knowledge of Xenos settlements on the edge of the Expanse could no longer find their trail. Squads of Eldari Rangers suddenly appeared on different worlds and disappeared abruptly without shedding a drop of blood, their purpose remained an enigma. The news of the Xenos appearing in the Expanse was followed by a report from the Agri world about a strange flash in the night sky. When the light disappeared, authorities sent out patrols that located a Xenos camp among ancient ruins. The trail ended near a white monument, a webway gate. Where this path led, the Eldari only their Farseers know. Time spent on the same world as Monkey pushed the Farseer Murin toward reflection. When the webgate gate awoke on Janus, and squads of Eldari Rangers stepped onto their ancestors' world, he averted a bloodbath, granting the Leviathan and its new and naive citizens his blessing. He disappeared through the shining portal, departing for a new home. The spirit monolith purified by Harlequin Trope on the Crone world was hidden from the insatiable eyes of the Monkey by raging warp storms. Ships started going missing more frequently in the systems close to the planet. Even the most courageous captains gave the region a wide berth, and it was named the Damned Reefs. Somewhere on the underside of reality lay Komarog, woven from the manifold other dimensions and illuminated as always by the light of stolen suns, its streets ever filled with screams and agony. Any misfortune experienced by the Dark City became another scar on its appalling face, lost among thousands of other vile blemishes. As long as pain pulsed its blood-soaked spires, the insatiable and unshakable Komarog continued its flight through the webway, along with an unchanging ruler, the leader of the Cabal of the Black Heart, and the most dangerous of all Drukhari, Asdrubal Vect. The fall of the Cabal of the Reaving Tempest united Komarog for the brief and bloody moment. The elites of the Dark City set their squabbles aside and found a new game in tearing apart the domain of Archon Ymyrus. The fate of the Reaving Tempest reminded the other Cabals that nothing lasts forever in the Dark City, save the city itself. Leaving the Necron system behind, the Star God vengefully obliterated every tomb world of the ancient Xenos race. The old hatred of the Satan, betrayed by their deathless servants, whispered inside him. The voice of Voxmaster Vigdis Suri Atta of the Ptolemy dynasty has long resounded in the Expanse, bringing hope and trumpeting the arrival of the merciful rogue trader. Known for her wisdom and acute understanding of ship systems, over her long life she taught many generations of future Voxmasters from the Ptolemy dynasty. Her body was built into the bridge itself, and in times of need her voice flowed through the Vox, dispelling delusions and despair. After years of dedicated service, Master Helmsman Raver was granted, despite his objectives, the privilege of rest. The wise servants of the Omnisci implanted an augment into his brain that restored his ability to sleep. Soon afterward, something unprecedented happened aboard the ship. The Master Helmsman overslept and missed the start of his watch, but his temper did become more agreeable from then on. Many years later, High Factotum Janrus Danrock sought permission to retire. He said that age had softened his heart, and that a more worthy, young, and assertive successor should take over his position. There was no shortage of candidates. Despite all of that, under all that fat, Danrock had a sentimental heart. He spared nothing for the orphans of those who had died serving the rogue trader. The children were given an excellent education and were eager to serve the Von Valancius dynasty. Urban Drivestem cared more about preserving the influence of his line than the well-being of the Protectorate. His blind ambition lost him his governor's seat and the respect of his family. Within a few generations, one of the largest houses of Dargonis turned into an obscure family of petty aristocrats. Toriana Gaprick missed the moment when her family, which had previously functioned like a well-oiled machine, started to fall apart, racked by infighting. Among her distant relatives, many blamed Toriana for the Kiava Gamma disaster. Soon, the Gaprick family splintered into warring factions and spent centuries locked in a violent struggle, only occasionally punctured by futile attempts to reunite the house. Macharias Sauerbach was loyal to the rogue trader to the last. Despite all the rumors to the contrary, finding little affection among his subjects or family, he stayed true to himself, remaining a forthright, severe, and pious person. Macharias strived to ensure that every soul in his charge felt justifiable dread before both him and the God Emperor. Members of House Rorsarian served the dynasty faithfully and loyally, amassing more and more power. A century later, they had finally gained the respect enjoyed by all but their noble houses, yet power and luxury can dull any blade. The now pampered and idle aristocrats were scarcely recognizable as the descendants of the formidable Seneschal Rorsarian. Clementia Rorsarian, daughter of Abelard and Chancellor of Dargonis, executed her duties irreproachably and even found time to school the younger generations of her family. She was an equally skilled mentor, chancellor, and political operative. After a century of immaculate service, she surprised everyone by leaving her position and becoming the first mate on a trade ship. She would later admit that, like a true Rorsarian, she had always had a passion for ships and voidfaring. Branches of House Gaprek and Rorsarian became intertwined for a time after the marriage of Astartia and Vincent. To the great sadness of the couple and the great amusement of the spiteful Dargonis nobility, their marriage produced no children. Just like her ancestors, Astartia Rorsarian Gaprek dedicated her life to service. Crushed by the events that took the stability of his house and his inability to provide an heir, Vincent lived in his wife's shadow. When his time came, he passed away without notice. The Harlequin, known as the Nocturne of Oblivion, visited the Expanse once again. Sneaking onto Dargonis, he came to the rogue trader's palace and left him a special gift, a case of Aldari crafting, unmistakably ancient and precious, adorned with the rune of an eye inside a circle. Only the Lord Captain knew what it contained. The Harlequin candidly warned him that he was drawing the Von Valancius dynasty into a deadly dance of shaking doom, that all will freeze within the threads of terror's loom. He promptly departed, and not without reason. A few hours later, assassins from the Dark City appeared, following his trail, and were mercilessly killed. Their armor bore the sign of the Cabal of the Black Heart. After months of searching, Dargonis wardens found the remains of Achilles Scalander on the lowest levels of the hive. Drukhari artifacts and records discovered beside him and indicated the agent of the Inquisition had been compromised and was working for the Xenos. The old Slith Malice did not risk returning to Kamarog, where the cult of the Fatal Thirst was exacting revenge on everyone who had helped the rogue trader. He took to piracy, forming a crew from the remnants of the Reaving Tempest. Rekindling his old thirst for battle, he schemed to shed a good 100 years off his age like a snake skin. The savage deeds that Gordai Skadov witnessed on Footfall traumatized him forever. His architectural genius was shattered. Only the rare collections of true connoisseurs held his work written in a shaky hand. Footfall, the ultimate void station and mortuary. Adelia Bellardo, the granddaughter of the pirate Jerry Can Dins Bellardo, grew up to be quick-witted and energetic captain. Since her guardian, who simply went by the name Chaplain, knew only faith, slaughter, and voidfaring, he advised her to invest her inheritance in a voidship. Her trade clipper, the Snake, traveled all the settled worlds of the Expanse and to many uncharted ones as well, and all the time that Adelia Bellardo was captain, her ship never once fired on a civilian vessel. Having completed his last journey with the Lord Captain, Abelard Rosarian, with the gracious permission of the rogue trader, left his post as Seneschal and took over the helm of his large family. House Rosarian rose above its rivals and was never again the target of persecution, even after their esteemed patriarch died decades later in his bed, surrounded by his grieved loved ones. Sister Argenta made no secret of the great respect and gratitude she felt toward the Lord Captain, yet duty compelled her to leave the Von Valancius retinue. With the blessing of the Ecclesiarchy, she founded a minor order of the Adeptus Sororitas, the Order of the One Star, united around the Keeper of the Sacred Relic. Its sisters protected the faithful from the danger still lurking in the Expanse. The wider order and its courageous founder very quickly became heroes of legend, instilling hope and inspiration in the hearts of Terra's faithful children. The conflict between the Imperium and the head of the Von Valancius dynasty could not but affect the younger order. Some sisters demanded that Argenta denounce her former commander. Unable to choose between the order she had created and the person with whom she could not have completed her journey, she stepped down from her position and went into exile. Despite everything, love for her among the people of the Expanse only grew. Argenta would be the heroine of songs and tales for centuries to come, a radiant angel who would appear in the darkest hour to protect innocence from the forces of darkness. Their Mercatum Tabula Officialae unlocked a sea of possibilities for Jay Hadari. She left the Passabella Commission and became an independent agent, choosing one's destiny as a unique gift that only mortals would never dare dream of. But Jai was no ordinary mortal. She found new friends, skillfully danced along the knife's edge between trade and piracy, stole from the strong, granted mercy to the weak, and even bought a couple of modest planets. And she never ever betrayed herself. Half a century later, a fledgling rogue trader, whose name is now forgotten, brutally crushed Jai, accusing her of using her power. The rogue trader conquered her worlds, exterminated her people, and did everything in her power to wipe Jay's name and vulgar deeds from the Expanse's memory. Wow. Heinrich von Kalix, the former interrogator of the Order of Xenos, took the mantle of the Lord Inquisitor after his mentor's death, receiving both the Inquisitor's rosette and the duty of defending the sector from the enemies of humanity. Von Kalix became the new warden of the Koronus Expanse. The Inquisitor became known as the one who showed lenience towards small vice and who was prone to using questionable methods. Decades later, Von Kalix's own students branded him a dangerous radical, someone ready to use the instruments of chaos to achieve his ends. Before they could hand their mentor over to the tribunal, the Inquisitor disappeared without a trace among the distant stars at the edge of the Expanse. In her journeys with the rogue trader, Cassio Orsilio experienced all the hardships and delights of the galaxy. The invaluable experience and the new knowledge helped her finally conquer her fears and accept herself and her powers. The Lady Navigator became Novidor of her house, tasked with addressing the consequences of Tisiphone's rule and the chaos that followed her disappearance. For the duration of her reign, she patiently worked on reuniting the feuding branches of the house, forging alliances and expanding the influence of House Orsilio. The Starway Atlas, which contained the memories of Tisiphone and the Sthalic land, lost its power. House Orsilio's navigators once again had to rely on skill alone in the depths of the Imperium. Many lost their lives, but those who survived the crisis became hardened veterans and pillars of the house. Most of those fortunate souls were young and brave, too few among them old and wise. Despite scandalous rumors about a love affair with a rogue trader, Lady Navigator Cassia continued to accompany her lover among the stars of the Expanse for a time. Their love was delicate and selfless. The Lord Captain and Lady Navigator wordlessly understood and accepted each other's feelings. Even after Cassia ascended the throne as Novator, she spurned all claims on her hand and heart, remaining loyal to her first and only love. As the years passed, mutations transformed her body, but the bond between Lord Captain and the Lady Navigator endured, and they continued to find solace and consolation in each other. Adelia Talas lived several more years at the Rogue Trader Grand campaign on Epitaph. Despite her short life, she left behind many legends and tales of adventures in the Lord Captain's service of the terrible warp phenomenon that she manifested. Shortly before her death, Adira vanished from her post. Jai disappeared with her. Then when Jai returned many cycles later, she declared that Adira's last days had been full of joy and adventure, and that her greatest pleasure had been watching the Void Whales play. Adira did not remain a servant of the Von Valancius dynasty for long. Her travels with the Lord Captain had changed her. She was lively and talkative as ever, but she had now developed a tendency toward rumination. Adira was now sometimes seen in a place she had rarely visited before, the ship's chapel, deep in thought or prayer. Curiously, the warp phenomena that haunted her became less and less frequent, yet Adira did not seem reassured by this and ultimately decided to go into exile, a pilgrimage she called it, to protect herself, people from herself. Her trail disappeared somewhere in the expanse, yet the memory of her lives on. The Sisters of the Order of the One Star, founded by Argenta, another companion of the Lord Captain, often mentioned Adira in their sermons as an example of a transgressor who found the light. Having revealed himself as the renewed Messiah of discontinuing, Pascal Hanuman caused great turmoil. Free from his vows of service, he took one combat squad and retreated with his flock to remote sectors for contemplation. Decades later, his ships were spotted among the heretics of the Cauldron, a sector touched by corruption. Their tech crews revered the Omnissiah, but his image was haunting. No one dared depict the Deus Mechanicus in this manner before, adorned with sinister flesh, embedded lumens, and gold mech armor, and crowned with clawed wings. The Omnissiah chose a grim and belligerent likeness in which to appear before his unrighteous Messiah. The unit bearing the name Abel Hanuman did not follow Pascal. No longer needed by his ambitious comrade, he was discarded and left behind. While en route to station altar Templum Calixus EXT-17, Abel was captured by pirates and forced to toil as a technomat. The day the Imperial Navy destroyed his pirates' ship prison, and marked the end of his silent torment. For many young years, Yearlet traveled at the road trader's side, helping him decipher the secrets of Lost Xenos races, and lending him the wisdom of her kind. Half a century later, she sensed that it was time to say goodbye. The path of the outcast had come to an end. After bidding farewell to her Ellentalk, Yearlet made her way to her surviving kin. Yearlet followed a new path, the path of the warrior. She only hoped that she would never be forced to raise her weapon against the mortals who would become her true brothers and sisters in arms. Rumor has it that Yearlet and Pascal met again among the alien stars. A band of Eldari warriors were trying to protect an ancient planetary edifice of their people from the covetous servants of the Omnissiah. Upon learning that Yearlet was leading the Xenos, Pascal personally descended to the planet and struck down his former comrade in arms. Her death did not stir any feelings in his metallic heart. After burying his brothers, Ulfar felt the weight of exhaustion and loss on his shoulders. His loyalty to the Allfather was strong, but his heart had suffered much over his decades of battle. Unable to break his vows, he continued to sing the saga of his pack alone, the last of the baleful Howl. Hundreds of legends on myriad worlds are told of the lone wolf. Covering his armor with a gray cloak, he would appear and vanish again, leaving only the corpses of the unrighteous behind. Stories were crafted about the mysterious avenger, and hundreds of young heroes, wolflings, began to follow him. Ulfar did not call on them, he did not remember their names, and he did not mourn them. He longed for an honorable death, but could not find it. He always survived. Blessed Sister Argenta spent many cycles looking for Ulfar to try to save him from his despair. When she caught up with him on a blade path littered with bodies of the enemies of humanity, she begged Ulfar to become a paladin of the Order of the One Star, promising hope and companionship, but the lone wolf did not heed the words of the good sister. Thorvald Ironhide led the Stormbiters for decades more, exterminating evil in the Expanse and adding glorious verses to the saga of his pack. When he failed, his successor, Halbrand, decided it was time for the wolves to return home, and so he led the pack into the Maw. Whether they were successful in returning to Fenris is unknown. Such was that echo of the deeds of the rogue trader of Von Valancius. Deeds that transformed the Koronus Expanse and prepared it for events even darker and more violent. But those are the events of a different story. This one has come to an end. Wow. What a great game. This episode is over an hour long. I don't know how long these are going to take, but I'm going to sit here and speed them up and we'll see. And if it gets to about an hour and 10 minutes and we're still going, I'm probably going to call it. We'll see you guys at the end of them if something happens. But if not, peace. Did we get to the end? Anything extra? Come on. It's gonna be something, right? There's nothing. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I'll give you guys a quick look at the achievements. We have 40 out of 65, which, oh my god, I mean, we got like 25 achievements left. This one I should be able to snag pretty easily on the lower difficulties. I don't know how we didn't get that one. This will be easily done. We definitely did this, so I'm not sure why it says we didn't, but whatever. This shouldn't be too hard. We can do that next time around. That's probably Malachi or whatever. Yeah, I can get that done as well. We can do that easily enough too. On our dogmatic playthrough, we'll do that. Same with that. That shouldn't be too difficult to do. That's just AFKing. We're gonna have to try to figure out how to get Zealot, because apparently we weren't able to do that for some reason. That's our heretical playthrough. Don't know how many we're at. Somehow I did not visit all the optional locations. We did not destroy 30 torpedoes yet, and we have not completed 20 orders. Hopefully we'll be able to do that and figure out what those hidden achievements are. But that's gonna do for this one. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.